Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania, diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more. This podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of the Livfiit Listens podcast. I feel like I don't ever know how to start these episodes anymore because my uploads are just so sporadic these days. But hi, hope you guys have been doing well. I always have the urge to say that because I'm like, I haven't spoken to you guys in a month. Like, hope life is still treating you well. Anyways, welcome. Happy you're here listening. Life's been kind of a doozy for me. Just to keep it long story short, I've kind of been going through it, but kind of in the best way, which leads me to my gratitude for today. I'm actually very thankful for what I've been going through because I've just have been going through a lot of growth, really, or I should say these hard times have been really pushing me through a season and a big kind of culmination manifestation of growth, which I'm really thankful for because I love that. I get a lot of fulfillment from feeling like I'm growing. And I feel like the past couple of years, I was really down on myself because I really was feeling like I wasn't growing at all. I felt very stuck and stagnant. And I think we don't always realize it's kind of with anything. Like you never really realize how much progress you're actually making until you look back and you notice how far you've come, or you realize kind of how much everything has compounded. Like to me, it almost seems kind of like an exponential growth arc or graph where it's like kind of going along, chugging along, then eventually it like really shoots up very like vertically the line. That's kind of what I feel like happens with growth sometimes. Like it doesn't feel like you're making a lot of progress, or it seems like you're making little snail baby steps, but eventually it all accumulates and compounds into something really strong and kind of really revolutionary and life-changing in a sense. And I feel like that exponential graph line is kind of where what my growth has been looking like the past couple of years. And I feel like it's really easy to kind of dismiss is the word I'm looking for, or discount those kind of smaller baby steps of growth, or like that early stage of the graph line that seems almost still pretty much horizontal for the most part, but really that also played just as big of a role as maybe more of your bigger strides, or what seem to be like bigger strides, because they all make up that line at the end of the day, and aka are contributing and impacting your growth in one sense or another. So that's what my gratitude is for this episode. And kind of also I just wanted that to be a reminder for you guys. If you feel like you're not making progress, I promise you are in your life, and it can show up in so many different ways. And it may not look like it now, but just be patient, because I promise you there's kind of going to be a checkpoint where you're able to actually see the fruits of your labor, and things are really going to compound into something big. And you're going to say, oh, actually, I was growing this whole time. My steps and strides might have seemed a little bit smaller than I maybe had anticipating, to the point where I wasn't even noticing them, you know? Moving into the topic of today's episode, this is going to be a little bit kind of a older sister advice kind of episode, kind of almost a little kick in the butt, but like in a really, really loving way. And basically, I've been getting some comments and messages and stuff like that of people saying like, I want to be just like you. I wish I was you. I want to look like you. I want to be you. I want to have your body. And I know that people are reaching out and saying these things in a nice way. Like I 100% know they're supposed to be compliments, and I don't want to like ruin the moment by turning something that's just supposed to be a sweet comment into something very serious. But I do know that words hold power, and I feel like those comments hit close to home for me specifically because when I was 19, I also would say those things about other people. I always wanted to be someone else. I always wanted to look like someone else. I wanted to have someone else's body. And when I said those things when I was 19, I really meant it. So I'm sure there may be some people who are saying those things like just as like a nice compliment to say, but I also really know that there are people who are saying that and really mean it about themselves. And it just breaks my heart because again, 19-year-old me really freaking meant it. She genuinely wanted to be someone else. And that was truly when I had the lowest self-esteem, lowest self-love, lowest self-image. And every time I said that, oh, I want to be like so-and-so, or I wish I looked like her, and just constantly comparing myself on Instagram and wherever else, it was just another step away from myself and another step towards self-abandonment and another step towards not recognizing and seeing my worth and my value and my rarity and my beauty. So I just like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, it's all fun and games, haha, until it's not. Like, that's just kind of what I feel like with these comments. Like, again, I know they're meant to be kind. I know some people probably aren't even reading into it that much when they're saying these things, but I just want people to be hyper aware of the words you're speaking and really the intention and the truth behind those words that you're saying, because I feel like a lot of the times we mask our lack of self-love, our lack of self-appreciation, our lack of self-love through self-deprecation, through putting other people on these crazy big pedestals. And I know this because I'm guilty. I still do this. I've come such a long way, but I just know how common it is. Again, I used to do it as well, even more heavily than I do now. And I just feel like all of it, it's like, oh no, it's like, I'm just, I don't like really, it's not that deep, right? But in reality, if you actually were to strip things down, like a part of you believes it or else you wouldn't be saying it. And I just wanted to bring this episode to you guys to kind of squash that piece of you that is subtly believing what you're actually saying. And the thing is, when I was constantly wishing to be someone else, like I said, I was the most unhappy I had ever been. And when you're constantly wishing yourself to be someone else, like you never even giving yourself the space to blossom and to flourish, because you're constantly always depriving yourself, you're constantly always depriving your own garden, and it's almost perpetuating this narrative that you've created that everyone else is better than you and this and that. And it's kind of like, no crap, you feel that way because you're not even pouring into yourself, because you're not even seeing why it's worth it to pour into yourself. You know what I mean? And a big realization that I had, because let me really take you back for a second. When I was, again, 19, that was when I was at the lowest of lows. I feel like I always need to preface my whole self-image journey with being cheated on when I was 16, just because that impacted that was the catalyst. Really, that was like the start of my just downhill self-image journey. That was like the trigger of everything. And so this started when I was like 16, 17. I don't even know how old I was like 16, 17. I'm not sure. And yeah, I got cheated on. I was such an impressionable age. Like, you're in high school, you're already like starting to have more self-awareness of how you look and how you're being perceived to other people and boys and all that stuff. And my first ever boyfriend, like it was my first ever boyfriend, first time I was ever in love. So it just had a really, really big impact on me. I was so vulnerable. I was so impressionable. I was so innocent. So it cut really deep for me. It like really rocked my world. I had no even like I just had no experience with betrayal of that level. And that's already such a big, deep thing to deal with as a full grown adult, nonetheless, a 16-year-old who felt things really, really deeply, So it hit me really hard. And so that's what led me to end up like placing so much value in my externals and like what I looked like, because I thought that I wasn't good enough on my externals. And that's why that experience had happened to me, which, by the way, isn't true. If anyone has gone through or is going through something similar, it has nothing to do with it, I can promise you. But that kind of led me down this whole path for 3 years of constantly chasing this perfection, this what I deemed as a perfect body, because I thought that's when I would be able to love myself, feel confident, be desirable, lovable, all those things. And there was also a big era, because this is like 2017, 2018, 2019. And that was kind of when these big Instagram models kind of started to become a thing. Primarily, it sounds so like embarrassing to say out loud now, like looking back, but this is just like truly, genuinely what I was aspiring to freaking be, was Katya Elise Henry and Summer Rae. Like, those were the two kind of first almost like gym girl models, like Instagram models, you know what I mean? And they had the same figure of like smaller upper body, big legs, big glutes. And I thought that's like what was desirable. Also, because I was so flat chested at the time and I couldn't really do anything about that, but I thought I could at least build curves in my lower body and have like that piece to, make myself quote unquote look better, I guess. I don't even know. And so I was constantly always chasing their physique. I wanted to look like them. And I was trying to like structure my workouts to look like them. And I was trying to eat a certain way, like all the things, constantly trying to mimic their workouts to look like them. And I was trying for years, and newsflash, I never actually looked like them. And unfortunately, it took me years to realize this, which is why I want to tell you now to save you the time and kind of just the self-torture, is that you're never going to look like your favorite IG inspo, okay? You're never going to be your favorite YouTuber. You're never going to be anyone else. And I know that can sound so like, whoa, that's so harsh. Like, why are you putting me in a box or shutting me down? That's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying that to empower you and to shake you to realize you're only ever going to be you. So you might as well embrace it and love the absolute hell out of yourself, because you're all you got. Like, I just kind of see it as you are constantly just going to be spinning your wheels, wasting your time, beating a dead horse, whatever freaking saying you want to put into it or whatever metaphor. You're going to be killing yourself, putting so much effort and to a goal that you're never going to achieve. Like, and I say that in the most loving way, but I'm saying it to save you of the self-frustration and that self-torture. Like, it is such a pointless goal where you're never going to feel fulfilled and you're never going to get whatever you think this end destination or end goal is going to give you. And this should be a liberating realization, because you're so much better off. You're going to make such a better use of your time, and you're going to be so much happier genuinely, truly within yourself when you actually release all of that, release the comparison, release trying to be someone you're not, and just fully embrace and accept who you are. Stop with the self-abandonment. Stop trying to run away from yourself. Literally stop running and turn back to yourself and ask myself, what do I need? How can I work to become my best version? How can I give myself more love today? If I was my best friend, how would I treat myself? How would I talk to myself? How would I take care of the body of the person that I love? Like, these are the questions that we need to be asking, not how do I look more like Summer Rae? How do I, have the life of X, Y, and Z YouTuber, whatever it is. Like, I'm telling you, that is actually the secret, and that's the life and cheat code. Like, I think people think like, oh, I just need to be like so-and-so and then my problems will be solved, or I'll have the life I've always wanted. You're never going to get there. Like, that is a hoax. That is not an actual route. It's not a feasible strategy to take in life. Like, the cheat code and the best way to do this, to be someone that you love, to be fulfilled, to be happy with yourself, to love what and who you see in the mirror, to love your life, that comes from you watering your own garden. And you're only going to have the energy to water your own garden when you stop looking at everyone else's and you stop wishing that your garden looked like someone else's or had the flowers that someone else had, or wishing that your garden was someone else's or you had someone else's garden. It's unproductive and it's not going anywhere. Like, a part of me is just kind of that tough love of like, I had to have this conversation with myself of like, listen, kind of like this conversation of acceptance, to be honest with you. Like, okay, I get it. Maybe we all wish we were Alex, Earl, or whoever the new person is, but you're not. So it's like, you're wasting time. You're wasting your energy. You're going nowhere. Like, you need to accept this at this point in time. You need to say, okay, I'm not Alex Earl, but who am I and what do I have to work with? What cards can I maximize and take advantage of? What can I do to make the most of my situation? Because this is the situation that I got and I can't change it. So what good is it constantly running away from it, constantly pushing it down, never giving it the actual attention to make it even better than what you started with? You know what I'm saying? And so my point in this is like, when you finally can accept yourself, when you finally can come to terms with your situation, your life situation, when you can come to terms with your upbringing and just kind of like where you're at in life and like the cards you've been dealt, like, that's when you can finally give yourself the space to blossom, which is why I'm kind of giving this analogy with watering the garden and everything, because it's like, in this self-perpetuating narrative of like feeling, see, like I still don't love myself. I don't look cute and chic. Like I don't have good style. I don't know how to do my makeup well. I don't have the gym body that so and so has. My life doesn't look like hers. The thing that people aren't understanding, this is a good one. Wait, here we go. People are thinking that is the cause and the reasoning of why they can't be happy, of why they can't design a life they love, why they can't be the person that they've always wanted to be. When in actuality, all of that list of what you're not happy with, that is a symptom, not the cause, not the reason. That is a symptom of the cause, which is actually you not pouring into yourself. It's the symptom of you not actually being intentional with the person you want to be and the person you want to become. It's the symptom of you not actually being intentional with your daily habits, with how you show up for yourself, with the promises that you keep or don't keep with yourself. It's the symptom of you not putting in the work towards your dream life, towards working towards the career you've always wanted to pursue, towards building that business you've always wanted to pursue. These are simply just symptoms of you not actually watering your own grass, of putting that energy and intention that you're putting into everyone else on social media and the life that you're looking at on Instagram or your neighbors, or why you're not X, Y, and Z, why I'm not her, why I don't have her life, why I don't look like her. You're putting all of that energy outside of you, when if you actually invested that into saying, this is the cards I've been dealt, this is who I am, this is what I've got to work with, how I want to optimize the hell out of this. Like, that's what you need to be asking yourself. And when you ask yourself that question, that's when you'll actually be able to give yourself the space to fully blossom into your true potential and what's possible for you. I know this sounds like such a lecturing. If you're a new podcast listener for any which reason, I am never ever meaning to, like, I'm very self-aware of the fact that when I speak about things I'm passionate about, and especially just when I go on my soapbox of like doing a TED Talk, I get very blunt and kind of very forward with my energy, but it's just simply because I'm passionate. I care about you guys. I love you guys. This is just meant to inspire you for change and to light a fire under your butt to actually take action. It's never to talk down on you. And genuinely, every single one of these podcast episodes are things that I have worked through or am currently working through, or a really big life lesson that I've really had to digest. So I promise you, I'm never saying anything to talk down on you or to make you feel less than. I'm really just speaking to a younger version of me, knowing what she really needed to hear. And I speak forcefully because it's packed with so much love and passion. So sometimes I need to say that because I know I can be very direct with my communication, but no, it's all out of love and passion. So that's really what I wanted to like bring home here, is that like you are never going to be anyone other than you. So you may as well start loving yourself. And the kicker is, when you love yourself, that's when all these beautiful things are going to be happening for you. And people think that you need to have all these beautiful things to be happening for you first in order to love yourself. You're like, if I was just like naturally skinny though, like it'd be so much easier for me to love myself. Or like if I was just like born into $1 million, like it would be so much easier for me to be happy and grateful in life. But the kicker is we have the order reversed, and that's the biggest scam of our society. By you pouring love into yourself, which therefore is going to help propel you into taking the action steps that you need to achieve your personal goals, your spiritual goals, your relationship goals, your finance goals, your career goals, then you are inevitably going to lead yourself towards a life that you love, a version of yourself that you love. But it's literally in the whole phrase. If you want to be someone you love, if you want to live a life that you love, keyword love, you need to love yourself first. Love equals love, right? Hate doesn't equal love. Hate doesn't lead to love. Like, that sounds ridiculous. And so many people are trying to hate themselves into a version that you love, or they're constantly hating themselves while they are romanticizing everyone else in the Joneses and wondering why they're not someone that they love and why they're not someone they're proud of. Well, no crap. It's because you're hating yourself, because you're spending all your energy of love on everyone else but yourself. So you need to lasso all that up, put that back into you. Feed yourself the love that you deep down is what you're actually wanting, the love, care, consideration, all those things, grace. Pour that into yourself, and you're going to be amazed with how much better your life turns out to be, because you're actually starting to focus on yourself, your grass, and you're actually giving yourself the space to have this prosperity that you're looking for. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't think people realize when they're constantly comparing or constantly wishing there's someone else, you are starving you're starving yourself. You're starving your own garden. You're not watering your own garden. Like that, I guess I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but you're just perpetuating this cycle of how is your garden ever supposed to flourish if you're constantly feeding it hate and starving it? Like, your garden is only going to flourish when you feed it with love, you feed it with care, you feed it with water. And that is what allows it to grow. Like, I don't think people fully realize they are the reason for their own demise. They are the reason why they're not where they want to be. They are the reason why they don't love themselves. And I think a lot of our generation can use a lot more self-accountability, self-awareness first, to then have self-accountability. And again, I think another thing that inhibits people is thinking like, oh my gosh, like she's just saying I'm a terrible person. This is all my fault. Like, I can't believe it. No. Like, now we're going down the same lane of hate. The point of this is to say, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. You're saying I've had this control all along. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I can see things clearly now. This is incredible. Now I'm going to actually use my time, my energy, my intention to put this into something that's actually serving me. Like, I can't believe I wasn't awake to this before. Thank you so much. This is such a liberating realization. I know I have this power now. I'm going to use this into pouring into myself. This isn't anything to put anyone down. This is not to blame anyone. And that blame, that shame, all of that stuff that we're holding on to is perpetuating this self-hate narrative, which is going against everything I'm saying. I'm saying to have grace with yourself, forgive yourself, go easy on yourself, right? I'm not saying to be perfect. I said in this podcast episode, I still go through the same thing. But have the awareness to know, if I want more, I have every ounce of my control to be more and to create more. But that's going to come from me loving myself and pouring into myself instead of constantly wishing I was Cindy next door or Trisha on the internet. You know what I mean? So again, I say all this with love, like with so much love. I think I'm so passionate because I know how much this sucks and I know what it's like to be on the other side of this. And I know what it's like to really be so uncontent with yourself and wishing you were everyone else. And once I had this realization of like, wait a minute, maybe like I keep trying to be everyone else and that's not working. So maybe I should stop running, turn around and face myself, and metaphorically, or maybe literally if you need one, give myself a hug. How can I give myself what I'm needing and constantly looking for in other people, in wishing of being someone else? How can I give all of these things to myself? What do I need to flourish? What am I depriving myself of? What am I starving myself of? What can I give myself to actually allow myself to blossom instead of constantly being my biggest anchor of wasting my energy, of wasting my love, of wasting my care on everyone else and on random freaking people and strangers on the internet. Okay? So, for the affirmation that I have today, especially with an episode like this, like with self-love, like it's so important to say your affirmations out loud, say them in the mirror. Like, this isn't something just like, oh, thanks, bye, leave it. Like, if you really want to work on your self-image, if you really want to work on your self-esteem, like you have to force feed yourself these statements so that they turn into genuinely how your brain works. Like, you need to develop a new neural pathway. You need to develop a new thought pattern and habit so that your brain naturally operates this way. So the affirmation I have is, I am one of one, and that's what makes me valuable, rare, and so, so special. I am one of one, and that's what makes me valuable, rare, and so special. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I really hope this helped you guys. I always love to see who's listening. So if you want to screenshot this, post it on your Instagram, tag me. That always makes my whole entire day. Or honestly, please share this with a loved one, with a girlfriend, with whoever who really could use this episode. And just spread the love, spread the help, spread the joy, spread the awareness, and then we can help to impact more people's lives. I also want to say I am hosting a wellness retreat in I almost said Costa Rica. That was 2 years ago. In Thailand this November. We already have 13 amazing girls that are signed up on the trip. We have like a bunch of different workshops where I will do like a group workout that's completely customizable to everyone's fitness level. It's really just kind of more so for movement. just to get our bodies moving the energy. I do a couple of live meditations together, and I also run some journaling circles. We have journaling prompts every morning, women's discussion groups. It's a really great way to connect, be in a new country while you're able to make new friends with like-minded people. It's a really, really great time. So I'll have that information linked in the show notes. Again, thank you guys so much for listening or watching on YouTube. I'm sending you so much love, and hopefully I'll see you in my next episode, whenever that will be. Peace out.